Test. Nothing. Test. Well, hello and welcome on in to City Ice Pavilion in Long Island City, New York, as the Aviators Hockey Club visits the New York City Raiders in a Bantam exhibition game. The Aviators come into this game with a 5-7-1 record. Recently, they've dropped decisions in close games against the AA Long Island Edge, AA PAL Blue Knights, and AA Long Island Sharks. They've also beaten the AA Mamaroneck Tigers. This Aviator team is not the same team the Raiders played and beat earlier in the season. Instead, these are their AA compatriots. The Raiders come into this game having eked out close wins against the Bedford Bears and Peconic Wildcats last weekend, both by a score of 6-5. A comparison of the My Hockey rankings indicates nearly identical scores, with Aviator rated 1 point higher. So we could have a tight one here today. A programming note, the Raiders take on the Rinks tomorrow at World Ice Arena in Flushing Meadows, Queens at 6 p.m. right here on Midnight Sports. So stick around. It's Puck Drop for paint. I believe it'll be Speaker's net today for the Raiders, with Jason Bricker taking the net tomorrow in what's a state game showdown against the Rinks. But today it's Aviator, their AA team, up from Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn, New York, all the way up the belt, the BQE to get here. And we've put 15 minutes on the board here as the players now get some last-minute strategy from their coaches over at the bench. Aviators break out of their huddle first. Raiders wait with a little bit of gamesmanship now as we get set here. Looks like it's going to be Petro Sinelli, Marchuka, Meyerowicz has the forwards out there first. Tanoff and Gosler as the defensive pairing. Goalies get checked by the referee. Scorekeeper checked. 15 minutes on the board. Puck drop starts right now. Puck's dropped. It's one forward by Aviator without possession. Cleaned up by Tanoff. Over to Marchuka. Marchuka tries to break into the zone. Instead, Aviator comes away with it in the neutral zone, and they're bodied there by Tanoff, and Tanoff tries to send it right back out of the zone. He's helped by Marchuka. Puck comes out into the neutral zone. Now it's Meyerowicz dumping in and going in on the forecheck. Meyerowicz pours in on the forecheck. Aviator comes away with possession. Now Aviator coming back the other way through the neutral zone. It's a 4-on-2 for Aviator as they break in the offensive zone, but they're offside there, and we'll get a stoppage in play with 14:33 left to go. It's Aviator just a little too eager to cross the blue line. And this puck drop's going to come just outside the Raiders' blue line. They'll get a change. It'll be Bizarro, Berliner, and Samosi out there. Aiden and Steinfink as the defensive pair. Berliner wins that forward. Fired forward there, farther by Bizarro. Just taken off his stick momentarily. He breaks back into the offensive zone. He shoots one, hits the goalie's shoulder, drops right in front of him, and Aviator comes away with the puck, at least momentarily. Now it's worked into the near corner. Aviator gets that puck out of the zone. No second chance for the Raiders. Aiden bodies his man as the puck's dumped in, and Samosi goes to clean up at the end boards. Not even a minute into this game, the Raiders break out of their zone, but without possession, Aviator dumps back in. We'll get a quick offside call there, and it gives us time to remind you, watching Midnight Sports, we suffer through the BQE, so you don't have to. Midnight Sports. This will be a center ice face-off after that Aviator offside. Samosi fires that back to Steinfink. Comes off his stick, and Aviator comes away with possession in the offensive zone. It's at the end boards now. Fired around there. Aiden takes out his man, and Berliner comes away with it at least momentarily. Works that up to Samosi on the forehand. Samosi still in the forehand in his own zone. Saucers a beautiful pass over to Bizarro, who dangles one man and now breaks in the offensive zone. He gets the puck out from under his feet and dumps the puck in deep, and then goes in on the forecheck. Putt 6 at the end boards, and Aviator comes away with it all the way through their zone. They're going to skate this out. Cross ice pass, sees them break through the neutral zone and into the offensive zone. Tanoff pushes his man outside. Gossler turns as Aviator dumps the puck and makes a change. Now Gossler works that up to Bizarro, chips it farther to Berliner, a little too far for him, and Aviator's going to break right back into the offensive zone. Aviator dumps that deep. Gossler turns. He's on the backhand. Circles around in the near corner. Puck sits in the near corner momentarily. A little heavy hitting going on down there now as it comes up to the near half wall. Puck now in the near half wall. Comes up to the blue line, but not out. Samosi takes a swipe at the puck, just hops over his stick. Aviator keeps the zone. Tanoff works his man outside again. Berliner in for support in the far corner now as Aviator continues to tilt the ice here in the early going. We get a quick call, though. It looks like it's going to be a trip here on Aviator in the offensive zone. They'll be going to the box as they touch up. Let's see what the official call is with 12:53 to go here in the first period. The referee skates on over to the scorekeeper to announce the call officially. It is a trip. Aviator will be going to the box for 2 minutes, and it's going to be an offensive zone draw here for the Raiders. Looks like Marchuka, Petrosinelli, Berliner, Gossler, and Meyerowicz out there. Berliner over the dot. Tries to win on the backhand. We get a quick stoppage in play as the penalty hadn't been put up on the board just yet. A little eagerness from the officials to get started so that we stay on time here at City Ice Pavilion. But 2 minutes now on the board. 12:53 left to go in the first, and we're ready to roll. Berliner gets another crack at it. Aviator comes away with it in their own end. They circle behind their own net, looking to get this puck out of the zone on the penalty kill. They go weak side. They're going to be able to pass this puck up through the neutral zone. Bouncing puck nearly enters the Raider zone, but Silas Gossler cuts that out. He crosses the blue line. He's on the forehand as Gossler, now in the near corner. He leaves that to the point. And Aviator just dumps that out quickly. Marchuka will track back into his own zone, pick up the puck at his blue line, and then come with speed through the neutral zone. He's ridden off the puck there, though, and the Raiders will have to give chase in their own defensive end as we have 1:29 left to go here on the Raiders' power play. Puck's left behind their own net as the Raiders look to set up this power play. It's chipped farther, up weak side, but the Aviators will come away with it there and dump it right back in. We get a heavy hit. Looks like it'll be an offside call, though, as Aviator dumped that puck in, but still we're in the zone on the forecheck, and so with 12:09 left to go and 1:16 left to go on the power play for the Raiders, it's going to be a center ice face-off. Berliner now at center ice dot. Leans over, tries to win this on the backhand. He does that time. Over to Marchuka as the fourth forward on this power play. Gossler works that puck up in the neutral zone. He finds Meyerowicz, who breaks in the offensive zone and dumps it in deep. Berliner gives chase in the near corner now. Berliner working. He goes forehand, backhand. Puck's taken off his stick, though. And Aviator looks to break out of the zone and kill more of this penalty. Berliner gets there first. Works up to Gossler. Watch out. Shot goes wide of the cage. Laser shot. Just misses. Marchuka gets it at the far point. Now Marchuka on the forehand. He sends a bouncing shot in. Nearly fooled the goaltender on the bounce, but it sprays wide after deflection. 45 seconds left to go on the penalty kill for Aviator. They break out through the neutral zone, does Aviator. Looks like they're going to enter the offensive zone here. They do. Shot comes wide of the cage. Now the puck comes right up to the blue line. Puck sits at the blue line, still on this power play for the Raiders. Puck dumped in, and Marchuka will give chase in the near corner. He's got the puck now. Just 7 seconds left to go on the power play for the Raiders. Aviators successfully killed this one off as the Raiders break out of their zone. Puck hops off the backhand of Gosler over to over to Meyerowicz, and Meyerowicz dumps that in. Back to 5-on-5 skating with 1:46 left to go here in the first. Raiders keep the zone through Nate Koslewski momentarily, but the Aviators will break out weak side. Puck now comes all the way over to the Aviators. They break into the offensive zone. They're on the forehand looking for a tight angle shot. Can't make that slot pass as Tanoff harasses his man all the way to the end boards. Now Aviators try and come around. They look for that slot pass first. They do get it. Quick stick by Aiden, though, keeps the puck from getting the net. Aiden turns his man at the end boards, who now cycles around the Raiders' net. Fauci all over the same man in the near corner. Aviators try and pick up. They send a shot wide of the cage there, and Vigliotti, will give chase as the puck's dumped in deeper. Aiden now around the net. Buys time for Fauci, who works the puck up to the near half wall, but not out just yet. Bouncing puck into the slot, finds a few sticks. Shot and pass comes in, and that's a score. That's a one-timer in the slot, low slot, 9:56 left to go, and that's an Aviator goal. Well, Aviator puts one on the board right after they kill that tripping penalty, and as you often see, the momentum switch there. And with 9:56 left to go in the first period, it's Aviator 1. Raiders 0. Well, puck comes right back into the Raiders' zone. 9:47 left to go. Now it sits at the side of the cage. Covered up there momentarily by Speaker. Shot comes in off the leg pads. The Raiders will try and take over in the near corner. Instead, the Aviators walk all the way to the dot, but not into the slot, and it's picked up there by Bizarro. Finds Samosi, works it farther in the neutral zone, and the Aviator's going to have to clear the offensive zone. Aviator takes over at their own blue line. It's kicked farther in there by Bizarro, but the Raiders were offside, so we'll get a stoppage in play with 9:25 left to go here in the first period. This drop's going to come just outside the Aviator blue line. Raiders try and win that forward. Instead, Aviator comes away with it. They've got a 3-on-3 developing as they just leave that into the Raiders' defensive zone, and Meyerowicz tries to take over there on the backhand. He comes weak side. Aviators get there first at the near half wall. Shot comes in. It's kicked aside by Speaker, and the Raiders will take over there. Petrosinelli looking for that breakout pass, and the headman hits a shin guard instead, and now the puck hops up into the Aviator bench. We get a very late whistle there after the puck had hopped up and into the bench. So we'll get a stoppage in play at 8:53 left to go here in the first period. Another face-off coming just outside the Raiders' offensive zone. Marchuka now at the dot, tries to win that forward. He does. Aviator's going to take over behind their own net. Marchuka in on an aggressive forecheck behind the Aviator net, trying to win the puck back. Aviator cycles over to the weak side, still in the Aviator zone, and they do break out with that long diagonal pass. It's a 1-on-2. Tanoff turns to push his man outside, gets his skate in the way of any dangle. The Raiders will clear the zone again. Aviator's got to wait until all their men leave. They do, and they dump right back in. Steinfink turns for the puck. He comes around his own net, does Steinfink. He's on the backhand, looking for support, going to use the boards. Chop this up and out of the zone. He finds Meyerowicz in the neutral zone. Meyerowicz now with speed through the neutral zone. Takes a heavy hit there to work the puck into the slot. Just sticked aside by the Aviator goaltender. The Aviator just cycles that right up and back around. It's not going to get to the end line as this puck. And we get icing waved off as it's touched just before it rolled across the red. So now the Raiders are going to have to work to get this out of the zone. They do. Puck comes to Marchuka in the low slot. He skates this out of the defensive zone, gains the neutral zone, and he dodges a big hit there. Aviator just turns the puck right the other way. Gosser now turns. Jams that puck up and off the boards. 7:48 left to go here in the first period. Aviator takes over. They skate the puck past their blue line. Fauci in on the forecheck. Aviator still through the neutral zone. They've gained the offensive zone. Looking to get that on the forehand. They get it into the slot. Backhander comes in. Puck hops up. It's kicked once, twice by Speaker. How that puck stayed out, I don't know. Aviator keeps the puck in the zone. Aviator still in the offensive zone. Gosser now turns. Tries to work that puck out of the zone. Instead, Aviator gets there at the half wall and then sends it rink wide over to the weak side. And to the near point, but it's chopped farther by Nate Koshlewski. Does good work to get that puck out of the zone, and Koshlewski skates after his man all the way around the Aviator cage. Aviator takes over possession there. They again come weak side to break out of the zone. That pass doesn't connect. Gosler gets there first and takes a heavy hit to keep the puck in the neutral zone. Some Aviator cheers now for the hitting. Puck sits in the neutral zone momentarily. Vigliotti gets tripped up. No call coming. Gosler's going to skate this all the way back behind his own net. Just under 7 minutes left to go here in the first period as he works it up to Fauci and out of the zone. Puck comes off Fauci's stick, and Aviator's going to have to clear the zone, but not quite fast enough. So with 6:42 left to go in the first period, we get another stoppage in play as Aviator's offside with a 1-goal lead. Now it's going to be a center ice drop again as Aviator looking to win that forward. Instead, Berliner sends it the other way, and Aviator takes over at their own blue line. Berliner cuts out that neutral zone pass. He finds Bizarro streaking into the slot. Puck just comes off his stick before he can pull the trigger, but it's kept in the zone, at least momentarily, by Tanoff. Tanoff sends a long shot in. It's just kicked aside there by the Aviator goaltender, and now Berliner in on the forecheck. Berliner still trying to connect there in the near corner as Aviator digs around his skates to get that puck out. Puck comes out to the slot. Doesn't find anyone in particular as it moves with all the bodies, but not out of the zone. Puck now rolling. Finds Samosi, who dumps that puck in deeper, and Berliner again tries to get to that puck first in the far corner. He looks for an outlet pass. Doesn't find anyone, and Aviator's going to flick that up and out of the zone to the near point, but no farther than Blake Hyder, who sends that puck in deeper. Hyder still on the puck momentarily, and now Aviator has it, and they're able to just pass that out of the zone so far as Hyder. Puck in the neutral zone now. Aviator gains the offensive zone, dumps it in. 5:43 left to go here in the first period. Hyder all over his man. Puck comes out to Bizarro, and Bizarro skates it out of the defensive zone into the neutral zone. Bizarro still on the puck. He's got Berliner with him, who stays onside. Puck comes to Samosi. Long shot in. It's deflected wide of the cage. Now Aviator takes over. They flick that puck up and out of the zone, and Steinfink's got a man on him. Now it's a rush. Aviator in all alone on Speaker. Can't connect there as Aviator does not get the shot off when the puck rolls off a stick. Well, that was a prime opportunity there. So much speed, though, on the Aviator skater's legs that the puck rolled off his stick before he could turn it to the backhand. Aviator now at the long shot end. Misses the net. 5 minutes left to go. Slapper comes in. Deflected wide. Raiders need to pick this puck up and get it out of the zone. Now the puck comes over to Steinfink. He tries to use the boards to get it out of the zone. Puck rolls to the blue line. Still not out yet. Now it's kicked farther by Berliner. Bizarro and Berliner on 2-on-2 here. Bizarro goes around his man. Takes a stick to the skate. The puck just rolls in on the Aviator goaltender. And that's going to be a stoppage in play at 4:42 left to go here in the first period. Still Aviator 1. Raiders nothing. Well, looks like it's going to be Aiden, Gosler, Petrosinelli, Marchuka, and Meyerowicz out there as the 5 skaters. Raiders keep that puck in the zone. Meyerowicz now looks for a slot pass, looking for Petrosinelli. Instead, Aviator comes away with it. They're through the neutral zone now. Is Aviator. They're getting the offensive zone with speed. Drop pass there, sees them break into the low slot. Speaker's able to gobble that shot up, and that's a save with 4:23 left to go here in the first period. Get a defensive zone draw right now as that puck gets caught in the equipment of the Raiders goaltender. And this faceoff's going to come to his left. Same skaters stay out there for the Raiders. One by Marchuka, back to the near corner. Gosler takes that at the end boards and flicks it farther to Meyerowicz, weak side. Aviator meets Meyerowicz and the puck at the same time. Puck comes up to the near point. Slapper comes in, goes wide of the cage. It's at the end boards. Aviator looking for that quick wraparound. It's cut out expertly there by Gosler. Raiders try and work this puck out of the zone. They make it to the blue line, then farther. Meyerowicz really working over his man at the blue line, able to get that puck out of the zone. He gets the return pass from a teammate, enters the offensive zone, and then the puck sits at the blue line until it's dug out there by Aviator. The Raiders push it right back into the zone, but not before they had cleared. So an offside call at 3:50 left to go here in the first period. Bit of a choppy first period with all the whistles. Clean play, but a lot of offsides and puck out of play whistles. Slowed this game down. Now it's Marchuka at the dot, just outside the offensive zone. Works that back to Hyder, who gains the red and dumps it in deep. Aviator will turn as the puck hits the Zamboni doors, takes a strange carom and sits. Puck comes up to Hyder, long shot in, looking for a deflection. Aviator gets there first, and they're going to try and clear this out of the zone. Instead it comes to Meyerowitz, who looks for the return pass over to Petrosinelli. Instead it comes to Hyder, who finds Petrosinelli, and then the puck jammed off the boards by Aviator and out of the zone. No icing on this as the puck doesn't get close to the end line. Tanoff takes over on the forehand in his own zone. Uses the boards to try and get that puck up and out. Aviator cuts out that pass. Sits in the defensive zone of the Raiders. Raiders trying to clear. Petrosinelli takes a hack at it. Gets it up to the far point. Aviator dances around one man. Shot comes in. It's deflected high and wide of the cage. Aviator now going to work. Instead, Marchuka cuts it out in the slot, looking for that return pass from Tanoff. Instead, doesn't connect, but icing's waved as it must have hit a Raider or Aviator stick at the red. Fauci now in at the near point. Jams that farther from Meyerowitz. Meyerowitz buzzing around the net. He's got speed. He works that on over to Vigliotti, who finds the return pass. It's at the end boards now as the puck and Meyerowitz. Meyerowitz on the forehand. Works it up to the near point. Aiden, heavy shot, goes just wide of the cage. Aviator looks to pick this up at the far half wall. Bouncing puck, skips over everyone, and Aiden goes over to cover. And he gets to the puck first. He's able to work that wide at the very least while the Raiders work to get that back. Vigliotti all over his man. He's able to free that puck up for Fauci to clear the zone. Aviator takes over again in the neutral zone. They try and work that puck weak side. They do. Puck comes to Steinfink, though, in the defensive zone. He's on the forehand. He'll retreat behind his own net with just over 2 minutes left to go here in the first period. Puck sits in the Raiders zone. It's worked to the high slot by Aviator. No shot coming just yet as Vigliotti and Steinfink work over their man. Vigliotti works that up with a saucer pass, not out of the zone. Aiden tries to work it farther. Aviator still all over the puck. Nate Koslewski now on the forehand. Comes weak side to Vigliotti, who gains the red line. Puck rolls off his stick, though, before he can dump it in. Puck now comes to Gossler on the backhand. He finds Koslewski and Vigliotti. Vigliotti works it farther in the offensive zone. Aviator with possession. They'll curl behind their own net, will Aviator. And now on the forehand, they go for a long pass, but Tanoff's able to keep the zone. He sends a long shot in that doesn't reach the cage, but we're going to get a tripping call here. Vigliotti reached in, and it was unfortunate. He connected with a skate. Aviator has the puck momentarily. We don't get a whistle after that touch-up by Raiders. Aviator still with possession. We should get a touch-up here soon. Fauci sticks the puck off his man, but without possession, still no whistle. Fauci all over his man in the offensive zone. As soon as the Raiders touch this, we're going to get a whistle, but the Raiders just can't get possession long enough to get that whistle. Now Vigliotti with the puck. This is there. He touches up finally with 1 minute and 2 seconds left to go here in the first period. The Raiders are going to the box for the first time in this game. Down a goal and now down a man after an unfortunate tripping call there. It's just stick on puck on skate. So sometimes them's the breaks. And the Raiders will go to the box here for 2 minutes. Penalty killing unit comes out. It's Gossler, Tanoff, Bizarro, Berliner. Face off to Speaker's right. Berliner looking to win this harmlessly on the backhand. He does to the far corner. It's chopped up, but not out of the play, or out of, the zone until Bizarro takes another hack at it and gets that into the neutral zone. Now Aviator looks to reset. Instead, the puck comes to Bizarro at his own blue line, trying to get on the forehand. Aviator instead chops it farther into the zone. Bizarro's able to work that over to Gossler in the near corner. Now Aviator tries to curl. They're at the near point. Shot comes in. Speaker's able to glove that down, but not freeze, and play continues. Aviator with 33 seconds left tries to work that up to the point. Instead, it's chipped farther by Berliner. A 2-on-1 developing with Bizarro. Berliner down the right wing. He's got Bizarro. He takes the shot as Bizarro was covered. Goes just high of the cage. 22 seconds left as Aviator tries to work back the other way. Still up a man is Aviator. They gain the offensive zone. They get on the forehand. Aviator with the drop pass. Tries to send something in on Speaker. He kicks that to the far corner, and it's chopped out there by the Raiders. And with 5 seconds left to go here in the first period, Aviator trying to set up one more shot. Aviator gains the offensive zone, but we're going to get the clock to go here as that shot goes wide. And at the end of one, it's Aviator 1, Raiders 0. There'll still be 59 seconds left to go on the power play when we return for period 2. Stick around right here on Midnight Sports. we've got puck drop for period 2 coming up next, but we do have time to visit with our first sponsor today. Today's game on Midnight Sports is brought to you by Washing Your Jeans. Hockey fans, fall is coming to an end and winter is upon us. You know what that means. It's jeans season. But that also means you'll have to suffer through washing your jeans. That's right. There's nothing that will make you feel like you gained 20 pounds overnight, quite like putting on jeans fresh out of the dryer. But wait, there's more. For weeks, you'll also feel like Frankenstein trying to walk around, move, or sit. And once you finally get comfortable in those jeans, it's time to wash them again. It's washing your jeans, when doing the right thing means hating yourself for a month. Well, puck drop period 2. Raiders try and win that forward. Still on the kill are the Raiders for the next 52 seconds. Aviator works that out of the defensive zone. Aiden gums it up in the neutral zone, and the Raiders are able to dump right back in and kill more of this penalty. 43 seconds left to go. Down a man. Aviator cycles through their zone. They come up to the weak side. Samosi cuts out that pass to keep it in the zone. Lurking was Marchuka in the far corner. Couldn't keep the puck on his stick as Aviator came around and got him. Now Aviator through the neutral zone with speed. Still Aviator on the forehand. They try and break in on Speaker, and then they try a wraparound, but they're pushed outside expertly by Aiden, and the pass to the blue line doesn't connect. Just 19 seconds left to go as Aviator has to collect in their own zone. Marchuka on an aggressive forecheck meets his man at the end boards. Aviator's going to try and skate this out of the zone. They do. They're past their blue line. It's a 2-on-2 for Aviator. They gain the offensive zone, looking for a shot. Instead, they turn at the far half wall and now come on the forehand in the far corner. They work it up to the far point. Lots of room as they walk the blue line. Shot comes in. It's deflected in front, and that's an Aviator goal. Well, Aviator scores there, and it's going to be Aviator 2. Raiders nothing. Now that was a laser shot as Aviator walked the blue line there. They were able to put that puck in on the power play. So, it's Aviator 2. In a hurry. Samosi now with the puck after the faceoff. Tries to work that up to Berliner. Instead, Aviator turns the other way through the neutral zone. Now the Raiders break. Aviator will look to clear. Berliner gums that up immediately. Comes to Bizarro. He curls. Now on the forehand. Tries to go up and over the shoulder of the Aviator goaltender. It's saved there. Berliner now on the puck in the far corner. Berliner tries to dance with it. He does. He works that over to Bizarro. Works that in front. Shot comes in. A wonderful save there by the Aviator goaltender. And then some hijinks in front of the net as the blue plate is cleared by 4 Aviator skaters. Nice save there by the Aviator goaltender. Keeps this scoreless for the Raiders. 13:20 left to go here in the second period. And the Raiders will get some new skaters out there after some strong push in the last minute or so. It's Marchuka at the near dot. Wins that on the backhand. And the Raiders try and fire in farther. Comes to the near corner. Raiders looking at the slot. Oh, the one-timer doesn't connect for the Raiders. Comes all the way through, and Tanoff dumps that in deeper. Meyerowicz now trying to get the puck in the far corner. Aviator come away with it. And Tanoff's able to stand up his man momentarily and keep the zone. Puck now worked back in deeper to Meyerowicz. All the way to the end boards. Aviator take over there with 12:53 left to go. Not out of the zone yet. We're going to get a call, though, here for a roughing, and it looks like Petrosinelli to the box for a hit at the near half wall here. The Raiders will be down a man again. 12:50 left to go here in the second period. Now Petrosinelli looking to separate his man from the puck. And he was successful in doing it, but adjudged to have done it unfairly. And this will be a face-off in the Raiders' defensive zone after that call, all the way down at the other end of the ice. And while we're waiting for the skaters to work their way down there, it gives us time to remind you, you're watching Midnight Sports. If it's expert camera work and terrible puns, it's Midnight Sports. All right, this draw is going to come just to Speaker's left. Puck just sits at the dot until the Raiders take over. That's a nice win there. Gossler and looks like Marchuka working together. We're going to get a quick call here, though. And the face-off's going to come all the way back down. Unclear why. I guess the penalty was not just set yet. Again, a little quick on the draw by the officials to drop that puck before the 2 minutes had been put on the board for the roughing call on the Raiders. So now it's Marchuka at the far dot, again trying to win this face-off. Marchuka tries to win this as he leans over, and we wait for the scorekeepers to get that penalty on the board. Oh, it's going to be a 4-minute. Looks like a double minor there. So 4 minutes put on the board against the Raiders. They'll be down a man for 4 minutes, so long as they can kill this. Gosler works that up to Marchuka in the neutral zone. Aviator takes right over at the center ice dot. They come in with speed. They're in the high slot. They're worked all the way over to the far side. Aviator still with the puck. Hit the outside of the cage there, and the Raiders try and work that out of the zone. Unable to do so. Point to point for Aviator. Aviator comes in. Speaker's able to get enough of that as the puck goes wide. Fighting in front of the cage right now is Aviator. Shot comes in. Nice block there by Tanoff. Puck comes all the way over to the weak side. It's going to exit the zone, and Aviator's going to have to reset here on this power play. 3:20 left to go as the Raiders are down a man. Aviator breaks right back into the offensive zone. They're on the forehand. They walk in. Deflected shot goes wide of the cage. Raiders try and pick up again. They hit that puck off the glass, but not out of the zone. Puck sits at the blue line, and it's worked right back in all the way to the far side. Far half wall up to the far point. Working to get on the forehand is Aviator. Marchuka blows a tire there at the blue line, but he's able to keep the play to the outside for now. Aviator comes in. Shot saved there by Speaker and swept out immediately by Tanoff. Puck comes all the way through the neutral zone. Aviator's going to have to reset again. Meyerowicz all over his man. Takes the puck off his man and then takes a heavy hit right at the red line. Aviator still fighting for the puck. They gain the blue line. Aviator in with speed on the forehand. Shot saved there by Speaker and swept away again by his defenders. He's going to have to buy him dinner if he keeps leaving that puck out in front. Aviator now picks up the puck in their own zone. 2:27 left to go here on the power play for Aviator. They're right back in the zone with speed. Aviator on the forehand, worked outside by Gosler. Gosler lays the stick on the ice. Puck comes up to the near point. A lot of space out there as the puck's deflected high and wide. Ooh, if that were a field goal, that's 3 points. In any event, that puck goes out of play with 11:01 left to go here in the second period. 2:12 left to go on the double minor to the Raiders. Still down a man, as all the action has been at the Raiders' end for the last 2 minutes. Well, this drop, it looks like Fauci at the near dot. Wins that over to the near half wall, comes up to the near point. Bouncing shot comes in, goes wide of the cage. Aiden angles his man over to the end boards. Now the puck comes up again to the near half wall. Worked up a little farther by Aviator, but a little too far, in fact, as that puck goes all the way out of the zone. Now Fauci in on the forecheck with 10:40 left to go here in the second period. Aviator will have to reset in their own net. Raiders wait for Aviator to come through the neutral zone. Aviator crosses the red line, and then they turn for a moment and then gain the offensive zone. Streaking man coming back post here for Aviator. And they're worked out again expertly by Aiden to the outside. Aviator still in the offensive zone. Backhanded pass, finds some pay dirt in the near corner. Steinfick now all over his man. He works that puck behind his own net, and he finds Koslewski, who jams that around the end boards all the way out of the zone. 10:08 left to go here, a minute 17. Fauci, aggressive forecheck, takes the puck off his man, tries to buy a penalty there, no call coming. Aviator behind their own net now. Aviator with the puck. They work it up out of their own zone, and now they've got a 2-on-3 developing with some speed. Koslewski hurries back, cuts out the odd man break. Aviator still with the puck in the slot. Last pass cut out there, very well by Aiden, and the puck comes all the way back out of the zone. Pizarro tries to get to it before it crosses the end line. Instead, we'll get an icing with 9:41 left to go here in the second period. 52 seconds left to go on the Aviator power play. Well, this is going to be a face-off at the near dot in the defensive zone for the Raiders. It's going to come to Speaker's right. Berliner out there. He's got Gosler, Pizarro, and Hyder. Berliner wins that to the back corner. Aviator tries to take over at the end boards. They do. They work that puck over to the far corner on the forehand. Now at the far half wall. Puck comes up to the blue line, just jammed farther by Aviator to keep the zone. Raiders all over the puck there. Puck rolls to the near corner. Berliner tries to use the boards to work that out. He finds Bizarro. Bizarro goes past his man and gets that puck out of the zone. Just 30 seconds left to go on the kill here for the Raiders. This was the danger zone last time. They were at this part of the kill. Aviator pours right back into the offensive zone. Puck cut out by Gossler momentarily. In the far corner, puck comes into the slot. It's guided gently to the near half wall by Hyder. Aviator takes over again. Aviator with the puck, looking for that one-time slot pass. Can't connect. Puck over at the far half wall now. And the Raiders take their man out of the play. Another pass to the slot. Doesn't connect. Raiders desperate to work this out of the zone. Long shot comes in. Hits a body in front. Sits in the slot. Speaker jumps on that. And he will buy a stoppage in play here at 8:46 left to go in the second period. We'll be back to 5-on-5 skating as the Raiders have successfully killed that 4-minute penalty. Now it'll be Petrosinelli, Marchuka, Meyerowicz, Aiden, and Tanoff as the 5 skaters for the Raiders. This faceoff comes to Speaker's left momentarily. Face-off one for it. Aviator comes away with it. Long shot comes in. Glove down there by Speaker, who just covers up after that shot immediately. 5 seconds off the clock. A shot there for Aviator. And we'll get a stoppage in play again. Raiders will look to win this face-off and get the puck out of the zone. Relieve a little bit of this defensive zone pressure as they try to work this puck into the neutral zone. Marchuka at the dot. Jostles with his man. Puck is dropped. One over the slot. Petrosinelli gets to it first and fires forward. Skates the puck out of his zone. He's through the neutral zone. Tries to dump that puck in deep. Instead, hits an Aviator stick, and he's all over his man to get that puck back. Marchuka in the aggressive forecheck as well. Puck comes up all the way to the half wall there on the far side of the offensive zone for the Raiders. Puck eventually rolls to an Aviator stick, and Aviator's going to skate this out again. Aviator through the neutral zone. Stop and go there all the way to the weak side. They were offside, though, at 8:12 left to go here in the second period. We'll get another stoppage in play and a puck drop coming outside the Raiders zone. Looks like it'll be a center ice face-off as again Aviator had broken into the zone too quickly. It's Marchuka, Meyerowicz, Petrosinelli, Aiden, and Tanoff. Aviator wins that forward. Puck comes to Tanoff, who jams the puck right back out of the zone. Aviator takes over in the neutral zone, tries to dump that in deep, hits a skate, jumps out of play, and we'll get another stoppage in play at 8:01 left to go in the second period. Now for everybody at home, I promise you the officials are not getting paid by the number of whistles they blow here today. It just feels like it as the choppy game continues. Same skaters stay out for the Raiders. Marchuka wins that face-off back, and it hits a skate and then pours forward. Aviator tries to break in the offensive zone. They do momentarily, but again, they're offside. And we'll get another stoppage in play at 7:55 left to go in the second. Well, it'll be Fauci at the dot here, just outside the Raiders' blue line. Koshlewski, Bigliotti, Gossler, and Steinfink. Puck's dropped. Gossler takes over in the defensive zone. He works that up to Koshlewski, works it farther to Bigliotti. Bigliotti now with the puck in the offensive zone, trying to work that puck in deeper. Instead, rolls out of the zone, and Steinfink turns and gives chase. He's got a man on him now. He turns and makes a play with the puck, jams it all the way back out of the zone, into the neutral zone, and Aviator takes over. Still Aviator now on the forehand. Send that puck in deep. It should be an icing, and we'll get a call as it just trickles across the red line with 7:28 left to go here in the second period. You may be wondering when you see the clock on the camera just what's going on, but we're missing the top horizontal part of the digit there, so it looks like there's 1:28 left, but instead it's 7:28 left. Folks, we hope you're enjoying our goalie cam here on Midnight Sports today. Now the puck hops over to the blue line and right on back to the near corner. Raiders still with the puck there. Still all Raiders in the offensive zone. Puck now sits at the dot. Comes all the way to the near point, does the puck. And then it's fired back in as the players jostle for it in the near corner. Puck sits at the end boards momentarily. Bizarro waiting for it. Sends it in front. Samosi tries a shot. Goes just wide. Shot still just wide there as the Raiders fight for the puck in the near corner. Shot comes in. It's gloved down by the Aviator goaltender, and Gossler fires in now to jam that puck farther. Skaters going around and try and find this puck. Looks like it's going to come out of the zone momentarily until Berliner cuts out the threat. Berliner on the forehand looking for a pass in front. Saved nicely there by the Aviator Aviator goaltender. Puck comes up to Gosler. Look out. Heavy shot comes in. Deflected just wide by Berliner. Bizarro tries to pick up. Best period of sustained pressure right now for the Raiders, and we'll get a save after Bizarro shot hits the leg pads with 6:31 left to go here in the second period. Raiders really making a push to get on the board. Tilted the ice here for the last 45 or 60 seconds. The Raiders will get some tired legs off the ice. New skaters on. We'll have an offensive zone face-off for the Raiders to the Aviator goalie left. It's Marchuka now at the near dot. Marchuka looking to win this on the backhand. Instead, he sends it forward to the end boards. Aviator takes over behind their own net. They're on the forehand. They work that up through the slot, but not out of the zone after a quick stick lift by Petrosinelli. Now Aviator on the second try is able to get that out of the zone and then dump that in the offensive zone, but again, they are offside, and so at 6:16, we'll get a stoppage in play. Aviator will have a drop again at center ice. Now it'll be Petrosinelli, Marchuka, Meyerowicz, Steinfink, and Gosler out there for the Raiders. Marchuka tries to win that puck forward. He does. Looking for Petrosinelli, who takes a swipe at the puck and works that into the offensive zone, but without possession. Aviator takes over behind their own net. They reverse, buy themselves some ice and time, and Marchuka again in on the forecheck, makes his man change direction, but Aviator's eventually able to break out of the zone. Aviator through the neutral zone now, looking weak side, hit a few skates, and they'll have to recycle again right back into their defensive zone to set up their play. They come weak side again, does Aviator. Looking for that streaking man through the neutral zone. Meyerowicz, smart to it, cuts out the pass, breaks in the offensive zone, but now it's the Raiders' turn to be offside with 5:41 left to go in the second period. And we'll get a drop just outside the blue line for the Raiders. Same skaters stay out there for the Raiders. It's Marchuka at the dot, just outside the offensive zone. Tries to win that forward to Meyerowicz, and the Aviators are able to jam that out of the zone. Steinfink will turn. He's got a man all over him. Now swipes the puck to keep it wide. Aviator circling behind the Raiders' net. Try a bad angle shot. Instead, the Raiders come away with it after it hits the side of the cage or escape. Petrosinelli through the neutral zone. Dumps that in the offensive zone and gives chase on his own dump. Now the Raiders try and take over. It's Meyerowicz working that puck in the near corner. He chops it up farther, but Aviator immediately comes away with it, and they skate it out of their zone. Marchuka on the back check takes the puck off his man. Gosler with a nice touch pass over to Meyerowicz, who leaves it for Marchuka. Marchuka now in the offensive zone. A drop pass there finds Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz tries to work that puck in deeper. He does. Marchuka at the far corner looking for Petrosinelli in the slot. Shot comes in, goes just wide of the cage. Oh boy, wonderful total hockey there. Just missing a goal at the end. Aviator now at the end boards. 4:46 left to go here in the second period. Petrosinelli takes over the puck at the end boards and works it in all the way to the near corner. Raiders trying to send something into the slot. Puck just sticked aside there by the Aviator goaltender, and they'll reverse. Meyerowicz at the near half wall tries to work the puck up to Gosler. He does. He jams it farther, does Gosler, and Marchuka will take over at the end boards at least momentarily. Aviator trying to get this puck out of the zone. They're on the backhand, but they'll skate around a few men and now break through the neutral zone. It's a partial break. It's a partial break for Aviator as they work in. Can't get a shot on goal, though. Wonderful back checking there as Aviator tries to come around. The puck just sits in the slot there, and we'll get a whistle. We get a touch up, it looks like. And we get a whistle. So with 4:07 left to go here in the second period, play is blown dead. It looks like Gosler's going to go to the box there for a hook. Now, so the Raiders back to the box with 4:07 left to go here in the second period. It'll be a defensive zone draw for them. Tanoff, Vigliotti, Aiden, and Fauci out there as the penalty killers. Aviator unable to pot one in on the double minor earlier in the game, looking to score on this one. Aviator still with the puck at the far half wall. Now trying to work that puck up and out. Instead, Fauci cuts out that pass, takes several whacks with the stick, but he's able to dump that puck in deep and kill some of this penalty. Aviator takes over in their own zone. Vigliotti waits at the near point for an exit pass. Instead, Aviator reverses, and they're going to skate this out of their zone and beat the Fauci forecheck. Aviator dumps that in. Aiden turns to pick up the puck in his own zone. Aiden on the forehand, tries to work the puck around at the end boards. Leaves it there for Vigliotti, who sends that puck wide, not out of the zone just yet. Aviator just dumps right back in. Aiden, will take over. Now he tries the weak side. Sends that puck all the way around the boards. He racks it around, but not out of the zone yet. Aviator now on the puck. Puck comes in. Speaker's able to long stick that aside, at least momentarily. Aviator now at the dot. They're starting to collapse around the net. Our Aviator, they're getting closer and closer on the points. Vigliotti has the puck on his forehand, trying to work out some room so that he can get the forehand and launch a puck out of the zone. Still Vigliotti down on the backhand on the far side of the ice. Aviator takes over again. They try and dangle around one man, unable to do so as the puck just sits there. Tanoff on the backhand, jams it farther to the far point. Aviator dumps it right back in. Tanoff turns to try and pick up the puck. Instead, he finds a man. Aviator takes over the puck again in the far corner. A lot of zone time here for Aviator on the power play. Aviator at the blue line. Dump it in again. They're on the forehand, looking to shoot that puck in. It's in the near corner. Fauci takes his man out of the play. Aiden takes over on the forehand. He beats one man, but not the second. He's going to get a second bite of this apple. He sends that puck up to the far point. Not out of the zone yet. Aviator dancing around men now. They work it into the slot. Shot coming in on Speaker. He's able to kick that and jump on it immediately. And with 11 seconds left to go on the penalty kill here for the Raiders, and 2 minutes and 18 seconds left to go in the second period, it's still Aviator 2, Raiders nothing. Now it's going to be a defensive zone draw here for the Raiders to Speaker's right. It's going to be Hyder, Berliner, Samosi, and we'll see. Looks like Steinfink as the fourth skater out there. Berliner trying to win this on the backhand. Aviator wins it, but only so far as Samosi, who expertly guides this out of the zone. Aviator will take over in the neutral zone momentarily until it finds Berliner. Berliner now at the blue line. Just 2 seconds left to go on the kill for the Raiders. They've successfully done it, have the Raiders. Berliner dumps that in farther. We're back to 5-on-5 skating. Aviators look to take over at the end boards. It's chopped there by Berliner, still at the end boards. He works that all the way up to Hyder at the far point. Hyder sends a long shot in, and he scores. That's a Raiders goal. That's a Raiders goal. Looks like Hyder from the point. And the Raiders have cut this Aviator lead down to 1. With 1:52 left to go here in the second period. Aviator 2, Raiders 1. Ensuing face-off, Raiders take possession, dump that puck in once they gain the red. Steinfink took a big hit there to make a good play. Aviator try and take over at the end boards. Berliner there to cut out any pass. Berliner still working hard at the end boards. Tries a jam shot. Puck comes into the slot. Doesn't find a Raider stick in time. And Aviator's going to be able to get this out of the zone. They dump that puck in. We should get an icing here. We do with 1:28 left to go in the second period. It's going to be an offensive zone draw for the Raiders. Now the Raiders almost stole a goal there on the jam shot wraparound. Just couldn't find the rebound in time before it found an Aviator stick. So with 88 seconds left to go here in the second period, it'll be Berliner at the near offensive dot. He wins that on the backhand over to the near half wall. And the Raiders fire in farther to try and take over possession of the puck. Momentum of the bodies, though, carry that all the way out of the zone. And a rolling puck should be icing as soon as it hits the red line. It does. Tanoff beats his man to make sure the puck isn't touched up before it gets all the way across that end line. So we'll do it all over again in the offensive zone for the Raiders. 75 seconds left to go here in the second period. Raiders searching for that goal to even things up. It's Marchuka, Petrosinelli, Tanoff, Meyerowicz, and Gosler out there as the 5 skaters. Puck hops over a Raiders stick, and now it's a break. It's a full break on as the puck goes all the way to the near corner for Aviator. Oh, it's shut down there nicely in the slot. Not sure whether it was speaker or defenseman, but the Raiders live to fight another day. Now it's Marchuka coming the other way. Look out. Petrosinelli on the forehand goes just wide of the cage as the momentum carried him just a little bit wide. 51 seconds left to go here in the second period. Raiders still buzzing around the net. Puck comes to the side of the net. Looks like Meyerowicz trying to pick it up in the near corner and work it up to Tanoff at the near point. Puck comes up to Tanoff. He has to back up, though, as Aviator were breaking out of the zone. Puck into the neutral zone. Aviator breaks right back into the offensive zone. Still Aviator in the offensive zone. They look to work in on Speaker. Puck comes into the high slot now, and Marchuka takes over. He works that over to Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz with speed now through the neutral zone. It's a 3-on-2 if the Raiders hurry. Works it over to Petrosinelli on the forehand. He gets that shot on frame. Saved nicely there by the Aviator goaltender. And we'll get a stoppage in play with 21.7 seconds left to go. Well, it might have been choppy to start, but we're in full flight now, ladies and gentlemen, as it's some end-to-end action here at City Ice Pavilion in Long Island City, New York. Petrosinelli, Gosler, Marchuka, Tanoff, and Meyerwich remain as the 5 skaters for the Raiders. 21.7 seconds left to go here in the second. Aviator win that all the way back behind their net. They take over with some possession there, looking to cycle that puck and find some breathing room. Meyerwich all over his man as the puck comes to the near half wall. Still not out. Gosler pinches in. He's on the forehand. Look out. A shot comes in, hits the side of the cage. Side post there as the Raiders try and get a puck in on frame. Just 1 second left to go here, and that'll do it for the second period as the Raiders show some good pushback there in the back half of the period. And it's going to end up being Aviator 2, Raiders 1 after 2. Stick around. Puck drop for period 3 coming up next. We'll do it all over again. Well, folks, for puck drop for period 3, we've got time to remind you today's game on Midnight Sports is made possible by a stray hair in the back of your throat. Hockey fans, do you feel that? That little tickle in the back of your throat? You cough and nothing can dislodge it. That's right. It's a weird stray hair in the back of your throat. It's always fun to field questions like, are you choking? And, are you sick? And only have an answer like, no, I'm fine. It's just a hair in the back of my throat, and I don't know how it got there. Wait, why are you walking away from me? It's a stray hair in the back of your throat. Just why? Well, 15 more minutes put on the board here as Aviator gets a little more instruction from the bench. And the referees just wait, the officials that is, just wait for them to come over the boards. And so they have. They've gotten their instruction. 15 minutes on the board. Raiders desperate for a goal to even things up here. Puck's dropped. One back by Aviator, but Raiders pour forward. Vigliotti has the puck on his backhand in the offensive zone, trying a slot pass, and then he tries a bad angle shot. He hits the goaltender, and now Falsey cycles around, tries to get that puck in front. Cut out there by Aviator as they work the puck up to the near half wall, and a bouncing puck hops over Aiden's stick. Steinfink over to cover. Great cover by him because it otherwise would have been a 2-on-1. We get an offside call and then a late hit there. And we're going to get a roughing call. Unclear on who just yet. Looks like it'll be Vigliotti going to the box. Unclear what happened there. There's certainly a late hit after the whistle. Uncalled on Aviator. And the Raiders will go back down a man with 14:37 left to go here in the third period. Well, defensive zone draw. Penalty killer's out. Petrosinelli, Marchuka, looks like Tanoff and Gosler out there for the Raiders. Near dot face-off. Everyone sticks gummed up. Marchuka kicks it over to a fellow Raider. Puck comes to the near corner, then sent along the blue line. Deflection in front. Puck just slips past, and it's in. That deflection in front ate the Raiders up on that, and an immediate goal there by the Aviators. With 14:26 left to go, that's an Aviator goal. Well, Raiders now need two quick ones. Marchuka at the dot there. Tries to work it over to Petrosinelli. His stick gets hooked up, and Aviator's going to break into the offensive zone. They look for that slot pass. Comes in on Speaker. He just sticks that over to the far corner. The Raiders try and slap that puck up and out. Puck comes all the way into the defensive zone for Aviator as they try and recoil and send that through the neutral zone on a diagonal pass. They do. They've gained the offensive zone. They dump that in, and Tanoff will give chase with 14 minutes left to go in this game. Work that around to the far side at the far point. Aviator danced around one Raider, but not the second, and the Raiders are able to get that out of the zone. Marchuka now on the forecheck again, as the Aviators will have to collect in their own zone. Petrosinelli out there. Long stick, can't connect with the puck. Aviators break through the neutral zone. They dance around into the slot. They're in on Speaker. He's able to shut down that shot with 13:34 left to go here in the third period. Another shot comes in. Blind one from the Aviators. Bad angle shot there. Doesn't connect in the slot. Goes all the way through, and the Raiders will break back out. It's Meyerowicz now with speed. The other way. He's in the offensive zone, and he sends a long shot in as he had three Aviators all over him. Aviators look to clear the zone. Hyder now with speed, keeps the zone. It's chopped over to Meyerowicz. He can't settle the puck before it crosses the blue line, and the Raiders will have to recoil and reset. Hyder tries to work that puck in deeper. Instead, it comes right across the blue line, and Marchuka will take over. Marchuka dances in. He's on the forehand, tries to kick it right back to his stick. Aviators all over him, though. Hyder pinches in to keep the puck in the zone. He does on the second try, and then the Aviators get it out on their second try. Aviators now into the offensive zone on the forehand. Steinfink turns his man to the outside. Looking for a slot pass are the Aviators. He's able to gum it up are the Raiders over in the near corner as the puck goes all the way to the weak side. Aviators on the forehand try and settle the puck down, but we'll get a call against the Aviators with 12:35 left to go. And it looks like Aviators will be going to the box here with 12:35 left to go in the third period. We'll see what the call's for here. Certainly some disagreement there from the Aviator player as to the call. Has 4 minutes put on the board for a double minor against the Aviators. Well, if there were ever a time to strike for the Raiders, this is that time. They can score in the first 2 minutes of this power play. They'll still have 2 minutes afterward, trying to even the score up. But first things first, got to get that first goal on the power play. It's Berliner who wins the face-off forward. Finds Samosi, who works it right back to Berliner. Berliner now looking up to the point. He finds Gossler. Gossler on the forehand, works that puck in deeper, and the shot goes just wide of the cage. Marchuka cleans it up to keep it in the zone. Aviator will take over now behind their own net. Pizarro now in on the forecheck. Pizarro works his man wide, but Aviator's going to be able to clear the zone as far as Gossler. Aviator still on the puck. They're in. Mini break coming here as they try and round Speaker. Speaker's able to shut that down and make the save with 12:07 left to go in the third period. On that shorthanded break for the Aviators. Shut down there by the Raiders. Still 3:32 left to go here in the third period. Just in the Raiders' end. It's one forward by the Raiders, and they're going to come out of the zone. Pizarro now through the neutral zone in the offensive zone. Tries to dump that in deep. Puck rolls off his stick after the Aviators poke check that away. Aviators back the other way. Long shot comes in wide of the cage. Aviators will take over at the near half wall. They're working the puck in the offensive zone to kill some of this penalty. Berliner now tries a long pass up, looking for Pizarro, and that home run pass on the power play. Puck comes all the way around. 3:04 left to go on the power play for the Raiders. Heavy hitting there at the near half wall. Gossler takes a hit. Looks like Aviators might be going to the box again for that heavy hit with 2:54 left to go on the power play for the Raiders and 11:29 left to go in this game. Looks like the Raiders may have a 5-on-3 here for that heavy hit on Gossler. It's going to be a 2-minute rough, and it should be an offensive zone draw. But before that, we're going to get a Raiders timeout for this 5-on-3, which is going to give us plenty of time to visit with our last sponsor today. Today's Game on Midnight Sports is sponsored by That First Bite of Pizza. Hockey fans, just like your misspent youth and your first love, there are things in this world you can never get back. But why waste time pining for things long gone by when you could find the same happiness, joy, and warmth just a seamless order away? That's right, it's That First Bite of Pizza. Is there anything more delicious than chomping down on that warm slice right after it's delivered? And guess what? That slice isn't going to break up with you or tell you you'll never amount to anything. That first bite of pizza, papering over emotional cracks for over 100 years.
Well, this timeout continues here. And as I look at the scoreboard, 11:29 left to go here in the third period. 2:54 on the double minor to Aviator. 2 minutes even on the recently called rough. So for a 5-on-3 unless they score. And we'll get into the specifics if they do. But the longest penalty is going to come off the board first if they do. Got to do that first, though. Aviator wins the faceoff. They jam that around to the weak side, taken over by Gosser. He skates in. It's a 5-on-3. Plenty of ice down there as Berliner takes over the puck and tries a jam shot on the side of the cage. Still Berliner. He's got his stick back now. Works it over to the far point. Marchuka with the puck. Marchuka at the far point. He finds Gosser at the near point. Gosser, unscreened shot comes in, goes wide of the cage. Marchuka now picks it up again at the far point. Marchuka looking to go point to point. Raiders still have plenty of time out there. Need to work something in front of the net. Gosser dumps that puck in deeper. Hits a skate, though, and Aviator tries to break it out of the zone. Can't get past Petrosinelli and Berliner. Long shot comes in. It's just gloved down there by Aviator. Kill more of this time. So 10:51 left to go here in the third period. 1:22 left on... 1:22 left to go on the 5-on-3. Well, it's going to be an offensive zone faceoff to the Aviator goalie right. Comes into the slot. Marchuka there. Sends a shot in. Hits the chest. Falls right into the blue paint. Raiders can't get the rebound first. Aviator sweeps that to the end boards and now to the near corner. Jostling for it there. Aviator comes away with it. Tries to work it up to the point. They do. They work it into the neutral zone. Marchuka will collect. 1:05 left to go on the 5-on-3. Now, Meyerowicz works that up for Berliner. Aviator comes away with it in the low slot. They'll skate behind their net. Aviator's got their very fastest skaters out there now for the 5-on-3 with all the ice. Raiders will have to be careful with that speed on the ice, but they do need to cheat for a goal here pretty soon. 47 seconds left to go. 10 minutes in the third period. Shot comes in. It's shrugged aside. The Marchuka shot shrugged aside by the Aviator goaltender, and Aviator works that up and out of the zone. Through the neutral zone, Aviator goes. Marchuka cuts that threat out over to Gosler and then Petrosinelli. Under 10 minutes to go now. Just 29 seconds left to go on the 5-on-3. Petrosinelli with the puck through the neutral zone. Tries to get that on the forehand. Sends a screen shot in. Hits the face mask of the Aviator goaltender, and we'll get a stoppage in play with 9:49 left to go in the third period. Now the Raiders are getting shots on goal, and they're crashing the blue paint. Just a little bit of bad puck luck there not to be able to clean up the rebounds and pot one. And by one, I mean another one past this Aviator goaltender. Fauci wins that over to Bizarre. Shot comes in, sits in the blue paint again. And again, Aviator gets there first as the puck's under a mass of bodies in the blue paint. We'll get a stoppage in play. Well, that was a sneaky quick shot there by the Raiders to get on goal. But they could not sneak it past the Aviator goaltender. And it's going to be another offensive zone draw here with 14 seconds left to go on the 5-on-3 for the Raiders. Fauci tries to win that faceoff. Aviator comes away with it. Jam it around all the way to the near point. Steinfink holds the zone. Steinfink works that puck in deeper. Now Samosic fires that shot just wide. Raiders keep the zone. Tanoff pinches in. Tanoff on the forehand, looking for a slot pass. Puck hits the side of the cage after a deflection by Fauci. Now Bizarro works it down to Fauci again. Fauci looking for a man in front. Instead, it finds an Aviator stick. So with 44 seconds left to go on the power play, Aviator breaks back the other way. Raiders cut that out of the zone. Aviators take over in the neutral zone. Chopped stick there. Sees Samosi break back the other way. Samosi gets it on the forehand. He sends a screen shot in, and it's blocked to the side there by the Aviator goaltender. Raiders try and take over in the offensive zone. Still up a man for another 24 seconds. Puck comes to Fauci. Fauci works that into the slot on the backhand, looking for a teammate for support. He finds Tanoff. Long shot in, and it's kicked aside by the Aviator goaltender. Bizarro takes his man out of the play. Puck comes to Samosi, who finds Steinfink at the point. Steinfink goes point to point to Tanoff. Tanoff again on the forehand. Tries to rip a shot in. Puck rolls off his stick. Now Bizarro sends one into the slot, finds an Aviator stick, and Aviator clears the zone. They've killed all of these penalties successfully. So with with 8:32 left to go in this game, it's still a 2-goal lead for Aviator. Back to 5-on-5 skating. Samosi now tries to work that puck over. Finds an Aviator stick in the high slot. Does that rolling puck. Pizarro looks to take his man out of play. Rubs him off the puck. Tanoff sends that weak side. Not out of the zone just yet. Faucian on the forecheck. Aviator sends it in deeper. 8:12 left to go here in the third period. Raiders now trying to get this puck out of their zone. Samosi on the forehand is able to skate that out of the zone. Cross the red line and gain the offensive zone. Nice backhand pass for Fauci there. Can't pull the trigger quite fast enough. Pizarro tries to cover in the slot. Instead, Aviator comes away with it. Hyder keeps the zone. And now Pizarro has the puck on his forehand. Tries to jam it in deeper. Samosi turns and fires that puck in deep. Now it's Fauci on the forecheck. Weak side. Takes his man and rides him all the way into the far corner. But Aviator comes away with it. Aviator on the forehand. Looks to break out of the zone. They do through the neutral zone. Aviator takes over again. They're in the offensive zone. It's a 2-on-1. They send a slot pass in, and it's cut out there by Aiden, and Speaker will just fall on the puck with 7:29 left to go. As the Raiders were scrambling there, caught a little bit up ice as they're pushing for that goal rightly. They had to hurry back. A sliding Aiden was able to guide that puck right onto the leg pad of Speaker, and we got a stoppage in play with 7:29 left to go in the third period. It's going to be a face-off on the near side defensive zone. Aviator wins that up to the point, backhands it in deeper. Hits a shin guard there, though, and Steinfink's going to take over on the forehand in his own zone. Work that up into the neutral zone. Looking for Koslewski, just a bit too far for him. Puck stays in the zone, though. Vigliotti guides that in deeper. He's all over his man, is Vigliotti, to work that into the far corner. Aviator's going to come away with it momentarily. No arm raised there as an Aviator skater goes down. Berliner curls with the puck. He sends a tight angle shot in, and it's covered immediately by the Aviator goaltender with 7:02 left to go here in the third period. It gives us time to remind you you're watching Midnight Sports. Click that like, follow, or subscription button, preferably the ones linked to Midnight Sports. Midnight Sports! Now, puck in the offensive zone here for the Raiders. They're trying to get possession and a little bit of ice to send it on goal. Heavy hitting in front of the net. Doesn't matter to Aviator, though, as they come out of the zone. No arm raised there. Oh, we do get an arm raised now for tripping. And Berliner disagrees with the call. But that's going to be a call on him. He's going to go to the box for 2 minutes as the stick was left out near the puck just a bit too long. And with 6:47 left to go, the Raiders are going to be down 2 goals and down a man as Berliner heads to the box for a trip. It's going to be a defensive zone draw here for the Raiders. D. Steinfink, Petrosinelli, Marchuka, Gosler, all to Speaker's right. Aviator leans in. Marchuka wins that forward, swept up to the far point. Now Aviator sends that puck in deep. They're at the end boards behind the cage, looking for a quick slot pass. Instead, works to the outside far half wall. Marchuka takes his man, and the puck off of him. Aviator, though, keeps the puck in the zone. They're at the blue line, looking to go point to point, or at least get it on the forehand. Long shot comes in, blocker to side by Speaker there to the far corner, and Steinfink will take over on the forehand. Steinfink works that puck up. He's ridden off, and we're going to get a call here. Oh, Marchuka takes his man out of the play, and now Petrosinelli gets involved. Some after-action fighting. Well, not really fighting, jostling going on there right in front of the Raiders bench. And there are going to be a lot of folks headed to the box after this one. Post-whistle jostling. Now it's going to take a little bit of time to figure this one out, as the officials congregate first at the Aviator bench to explain the calls and the penalties. Several Raiders have already headed to the box on their side, knowing that swift justice awaits them as well, with 6:18 left to go here in the third period. Remember, the Raiders were already on the penalty kill. They had 1:32 left to go on the kill. So we'll see. The scoreboard's not actually big enough to hold all the Raider penalties. Some disagreement on the Raiders bench, certainly. Some of these calls, as Coach Marchuka
has a conversation with the official, imploring him to keep his players safe out there on the ice after what looked like a rough hit that started all of the nonsense after the whistle. You should note the hit came before the whistle, of course, but the jostling after. In any event, 6:18 left to go, and we can count the skaters out there for the Raiders. Looks like there are 5 Raiders skaters on the ice now, maybe 4. Let's see. We're going to work it out here. There's certainly 5 Aviator skaters out there. Unfortunately, without more insight into the scorers table, looks like it'll be a 5-on-4. Yes, indeed. As Samosi exits the ice here, head back. 5-on-4, so we'll just continue apace. Still one. Desperately searching for 2 goals to even this up. Aviators break out of their zone. Into the offensive zone. It's at the near half wall, but chopped out there. Instead, the puck sits at the blue line. Now the Aviators come in. They look for that. Oh, it's shut down there by Speaker. A nice leg pad on that slot pass one-timer. Aviator now circling behind the cage. 1:06 left to go on the kill for the Raiders. Aviator keep the zone. They're at the far half wall on the forehand. Shot comes in, gobbled up immediately by Speaker. 58 seconds left to go here in the third period penalty kill for the Raiders. 5:45 left to go in the game entirely. Well, Aviators buzzing. The Raiders are pushing back. Meyerowicz, Bizarro, Tanoff, and Hyder out there. Tanoff now with the puck in the far corner on the forehand. Worked all the way up to the far point. Aviator go point to point, looking for a one-timer. That shot goes well wide of the cage. Hyder now tries to take his man out of the play. Shot comes in on Speaker. He makes the first save. Then he sticks aside the rebound all the way over to Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz uses the boards as a bank shot to try and get the puck out of the zone. Not quite far enough yet. 33 seconds left to go on the kill here for the Raiders. Aviators able to keep the zone, but only so far as... well, Bizarro had a shot at it there, but the puck rolled on him, and now the Aviators come in. It's again kicked aside by Speaker. They're in the slot, are the Aviators on the forehand. Shot comes in, doesn't reach the cage, goes wide all the way to the far corner. Aviators still in the zone. 15 seconds left to go on the kill. They're in the slot all alone, are they? They try that pass all the way at the post. Speaker's able to jump on the puck there momentarily. Aviators still with a loose puck in the near corner now, trying to work something into the slot. Harassed by the Raiders. Some tired skaters out there, though. Shot comes in. Speaker's able to send that into the slot. He makes a second save there. Puck rolls into the slot. Long backhand comes in, and it does eventually find pay dirt there with 4:38 left to go. That's an Aviator goal.
Well, I was scheming for the masses. Who do you think you are? Dreaming about being a big star.
Well, after a few bites at the apple there, Aviator find pay dirt. Penalty had technically expired, but 5-on-5 hockey there as the Raiders are trying to get all the way back into their defensive zone, get all 5 skaters back there. Aviator breaks in on the ensuing faceoff right back in the offensive zone, looking for that one-timer. Puck still sits in the low slot. Aviator want more. They're in the mid slot now. Gosser's able to flick that puck up and out of the zone. A good play out there. Works that puck over for Vigliotti. Finds an Aviator stick, though, before a Raider stick. Now a long, high shot comes in from Gosser. Misses the cage. Aiden tries to keep the puck in the zone. He works that down toward Vigliotti. Koslewski out there now at the goal front. Works his man over. He's able to make a pass before Koslewski gets to him. And Aviator breaks out the other way. It was a good forecheck there by Nate Koslewski. Just a little unfortunate not to get the puck first. Aviator now with the puck in the offensive zone, trying to cycle. It comes up to the high slot. Aviator just jams that back in farther, and Aiden guides it to the far corner. Aiden still on the puck there. Comes to the near half wall. Vigliotti over his man. Gets on the forehand. Can't work the puck past him, and Aiden will work that puck over to the weak side for Gosser on the forehand. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. Wonderful pass by Gosser. Finds Vigliotti, who sends a long shot in just wide of the cage. And now Fauci tries to pick up at the near half wall. He jams it farther, right by the Zamboni doors, but Aviator will take over again on another carom over there and look to break out of their zone. Looks like we're going to get a call here, though.
It's going to be a slash on Kozlowski. Looks like a retaliatory slash. He'll go to the box as he tries to explain to the official. He again was just trying to protect himself after he had been slashed. And if you've ever watched sports at any time in your life, you'll know the official's not buying what the player is saying. So 3 minutes, 13 seconds left to go in the third period. Rightly or wrongly, Kozlowski sent to the box for 2 for slashing, and the Raiders will be down a man here. Smol's down 3 goals. And so it'll be Marchuka, Steinfink, Samosi, and Gosler out as the killers. Strangely, though, this face-off, well, it looks like it's unclear what's happening here as 5 Raiders skaters are out there. No penalty on the board and an offensive zone draw for the Raiders. Kozlowski's still in the box, though. We'll have to visit the post-game studio show and figure out what happened there. In any event, puck rolls into the Raiders zone. Cleaned up there by Gosler. Over to the near half wall. Aviators come away with it. They're in on Speaker, are the Aviators. They try and go weak side. Speaker's able to just cover that up with the leg pad with 2:54 left to go here in the third period. Well, it is 5-on-5 hockey, strangely, with Kozlowski in the box. Ensuing face-off, one forward by Aviator. They try a tight angle shot. Puck sits in the blue paint, cleaned up there by Gosler. And Bizarro try and take over in the far corner. Aviators come away with it again. Still in the far corner. Now the puck finds Marchuka in the slot. He's able to leave the zone. Marchuka is. And he works that puck all the way across the blue line on the forehand. He tries to go around his man. Aviator wise to the threat. Cuts it out and pours right back the other way. Aviator now in the offensive zone on the forehand. They send that slot pass in. And on Speaker, he's able to guide that wide. Now he's got to get back into the goal mouth before Aviator's able to score. He does. He jumps on it with a long outstretched arm there. 2 minutes and 19 seconds left to go. Despite some chopping by the Aviator players, he hangs on to the puck, does the Raiders goalie. So we'll get a stoppage in play. 2:19 in the third. Aviator 4, Raiders 1. And it's going to be a defensive zone draw coming to Speaker's right. Well, perhaps with all of the after action, we're going to get a penalty on Aviator. It's put on the board as 2 minutes. Unclear what the call was. The officials hurrying to get the Raiders to take this face-off. And it's going to be Berliner, Marchuka, Meyerowicz, Bizarro out there. Bizarro tries to work that to the goal front. It's cut out there by Aviator, and then they chop that out of the zone. Through the neutral zone now is Aviator. They dump it in with just over 2 minutes left to go in this game, and almost the same time on the power play for the Raiders. Puck comes up to Meyerowicz, who works that puck weak side over to Marchuka. Rolls off his stick. Aviator chops it right back through the neutral zone, and Berliner takes over at the red line. Berliner at the blue line takes a big hit there, and Bizarro looks to pick up the puck in the offensive zone. Aviator there first. They circle behind their own net. Heavy forecheck now by the Raiders. Down 3 goals, and they've got to score soon. Gosler with the wrist shot in. He scores. Oh my, that's a Silas Gosler goal. And he, on the forehand, scores and cuts this Aviator lead to 2. Well, that was a quick wrist shot there. We should be back to 5-on-5 skating now, as it looks like Aviator has called a timeout with 1:43 left to go. And we've got a 4-2 hockey game now. Well, both benches will go over what literally feels like last-minute strategy with just 103 seconds left to go in this game. It'll be 5-on-5 skating. This one has been chances for both teams, as the clock has continued to tick on in the third period. It's going to be Berliner, Bizarro, Gosler, Marchuka, and Meyerowicz out there. as the 5 skaters for the Raiders ready to roll here for the Raiders. Now Aviator comes out. They're ready to roll as well. Get their 5th skater on the ice for this draw. Puck drop at center ice. Berliner leans over there, leaves the puck at the dot, and then he wins it to himself. He gains the offensive zone. He's got Pizarro with him, tries to work that on the forehand. Screen shot comes in. It's covered up immediately there by the Aviator goaltender, taking no chances. So at 1:34 left to go in the 3rd period, we'll have an offensive zone draw coming up for the Raiders, just to the Aviator goaltender right. Same 5 skaters stay out there. Now they add a 6th in Samosi. Speaker is out of the net. Raiders have an empty net now. And the puck comes up to Marchuka. Long shot in, unscreened. Rebound sits momentarily until it's covered up by the Aviator goaltender. And so it's 6-on-5 out there right now with 1:29 left to go in the 3rd period. Puck now sits there at the side of the goal mouth. Aviator takes over in their own zone. They send that shot up high off the glass. Marchuka is able to keep the zone. Puck now worked in deeper. Pizarro takes over on the backhand, works it over to Berliner, back to Pizarro. Pizarro tries to curl with the puck, rolls off his stick, goes around the net, looks for that slot pass, works it over to Meyerowicz on the forehand. Puck sits there momentarily. 1 shot, 2, 3, all rejected by the Aviator goaltender. Aviator will take over and just send that puck all the way down, looking for an empty net goal. Instead, they ice it with 1:01 left to go here in the 3rd period. Well, they were shut down by some expert goaltending on the Aviator side. So 61 seconds left to go in this one at City Ice Pavilion. Raiders desperate to find 2 goals and find them in a hurry. Berliner wins that faceoff on the backhand, works it over to Gossler. Gossler dumps it in deeper. Berliner now in on the forecheck. Tries to work it over to Samosi. Instead, it's cut out by Aviator at the far corner. Berliner and Samosi work the puck to each other through some Aviator skates. Still not with total possession as Pizarro comes in for support. Curls back the other way. Finds Samosi. Samosi goes off the goal the goal mask of the Aviator goaltender. Now Gossler works that puck in deeper again. Aviator trying to work this out of the zone, cautiously though, so as not to ice it. Gossler on the backhand tries to jam that puck farther. Instead, he takes over, works it to the forehand, rolls off his stick, and now Samosi guides that puck over to Gossler in the offensive zone. Marchuka waiting at the blue line for the one-timer. Instead, he gets on the wrist shot, bouncing puck there, saved nicely again by the Aviator goaltender. It looks like there's just 18 seconds left to go in this one, as we'll get another offensive zone draw for the Raiders. Haven't been able to hit pay dirt just yet on this 6-on-5 with their goalie pulled. Stoppage in play here as the Aviator goaltender takes a breath after what's been very, very active into the 3rd period for him. Now the puck comes all the way up to the blue line and out. Marchuka will have to collect there with just 11 seconds left to go. He comes weak side. He finds Samosi in the defensive zone. Samosi looks to work that up. He does find Berliner. Berliner's got Pizarro with him. Berliner trying to kick that puck onto the forehand. Aviator instead will come away with it and work that puck up and over, and that's going to be an Aviator win. Well, this one goes final. Aviator 4, New York City Raiders 2. Thanks so much for joining us here today on Midnight Sports. Make sure to tune in again tomorrow as the Raiders take on the Rinks at World Ice Arena in Flushing Meadows, Queens at 6 p.m. Until then, stay safe.